There's not a lot of good news happening in the gaming world right now, and gaming is becoming more and more of a luxury hobby. Now, I'm sure many of you have already seen the price increases going on with Sony's PlayStation. The PS5 Slim and Standard Edition are going up 100 US, and the PS5 Pro is going up 150 US. Now, this has caused a large surge of orders coming in, with the PS5 Pro being completely out of stock for me and Best Buy or Amazon anywhere close to me. Now, this really sucks because consoles usually don't increase in price at this point in their lifetime. In fact, the opposite is usually true. They usually go down in price the older the console becomes. And I know some of you may be thinking it might just be inflation. And of course, inflation plays a huge role in the rising costs, but so do other economical impacts such as the RAM and SSD increases that are going on right now. Speaking of, I wanted to quickly show the 990 Pro as an example of how absurd these SSD prices are getting. So today, I could get the 990 Pro SSD for about 280 Canadian dollars, which is about 200 USD. Around this time of last year, it was going for 132 Canadian or $95 US. The 2TB version is 555 Canadian today or 396 USD. And this time last year, it was 269 Canadian or about 194 US dollars. Now, I'm not even going to begin to go into the 4TB one because that is a little bit absurd, but the 2TB drive actually went on sale in April of last year and was 168 Canadian or just 121 USD for the 990 Pro 2TB SSD. Now, I did a quick conversion, so these prices aren't going to be exact in US dollars, just kind of giving a ballpark range of where they're at. Now, SSD is just one part of it, but as we all know, the RAM prices have been soaring as well. Now, both RAM and SSDs are going up because of the increased use of AI, but I'll talk about that more in a little bit. It's not just the hardware that's increasing either, it's the games themselves. We've seen games really quickly go from 60, 70, all the way to $80+ in the USD range. That's not even to mention any special or deluxe edition versions of the game. To put that into perspective, if you wanted one game with a new PlayStation 5 Pro starting after April 2nd, that would cost you just under $1,000 US before tax to play one game. Now, that's also not even to mention the cost of PSN Online, which will of course further inflate all these costs by quite a bit. The reason I bring up one game is because I think a lot of us know what I'm talking about. GTA 6 is slated to come out fall of this year, and the PS5 Pro will be the definitive way to play and experience the game. And that's why I suspect a lot of people also pull the trigger on buying the console now before the April 2nd price hikes. Once we get closer to the release date of the game and you're now able to actually buy the game, you know there's going to be a lot more people looking for PlayStation 5s and PlayStation 5 Pros to try and experience the game. This could potentially affect some sales because some people might see this increased price and just say it's really not worth it, you know, especially if they're not really a gamer. Now with GTA 6 coming out, they might want to go and revisit it, but they'll see these price. They've gone this long without a game and they don't need to play another one. Others might not be able to buy it out of pure necessity. People who affects the most are the ones who may not be in the most fortunate position to be able to afford a $900 or a $600 barrier to entry cost just for a console. Especially think the main demographic that probably plays video games is younger males, which will include anyone in high school or university or college, and those people may not be able to scrounge up that much money just to spend on the console. Now, to bring some positives in, of course, overall gaming is still cheaper than a lot of other hobbies, you know, especially if you already own a PlayStation 5 or you already have a PC. You're able to sort of keep that and play the games you have if you don't want to buy any more, or wait and save up to buy GTA 5 when it comes out and have that game entertain you for countless and countless of hours. And of course, we can also take advantage of a lot of sales. Steam just had their spring sale end recently, which a lot of games went on big discount, and when the summer sale happens, I'm sure discounts will be even greater. AI is a big culprit of the reason why the prices of RAM and SSDs and even graphics cards are shooting through the moon right now, and have been for the last little bit. We've seen Micro Center basically abandon the consumer market in favor of the more expensive AI market, where they're able to get a lot more bang for their buck. But we also do have a little bit of news. So Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has actually recently announced that they will be shutting down their flagship video generation Sora model and API, specifically because the costs are too high without enough of a payback. You know, he did say, you know, they're going to go focus more on trying to get agentic AI, and obviously the models that they currently have, they're still going to upkeep and keep expanding on GPT-5 and eventually GPT-6 and so on. But this could mean that the demand for hardware has a possibility of maybe going down a little bit, which would mean prices might start to drop for different components with due time. But that is to be seen and not something that is guaranteed. I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys already own a PS5? Did you buy one when you heard that these price increases were happening? Or do you still not have one? Are you going to be jumping into GTA, or do you have a PC and you're going to have to wait for a release of that? I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe and like. It really helps me out a ton.